We'd like to thank you for taking your time to join us on our monthly school board meeting. Today is April 24th, 2025, and we have established a quorum. Ms. De La Garza will not be in attendance today. I just want to let you know that this meeting, we will address some business and personnel items. We'll also recognize student success and hear the superintendent's report and other items on the agenda that I think you will find very interesting. We have lots to do here, so if you, right there where you are, would you pray with me? Dear God, we ask you for your guidance tonight. As we make decisions for our district and our community, give us rest from any worries and peace to trust the outcome of what will be voted on in this meeting. We ask that your blessing be upon our students, give them the desire to learn. We ask that your blessing be upon the teachers, give them the passion to continue teaching. We ask that you, for your blessing upon the staff, and give them the heart for serving others. We ask for the blessing upon our administrators, giving them wise and discerning minds. And finally, we ask for your blessing upon this school board. Grant us the patience and understanding in decision making. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand with us. U.S. flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas. Allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you.
Want me to start? All right, it looks like we have a packed house of recognition, so we'll start with some of our recognitions.
First, we'll begin with the recognition of outstanding achievement. In this case, this is our Bulldog Award. If everybody will remember, the Bulldog Award is awarded to staff, but the nominations come in from staff and parents and students. And so tonight we have 2 Bulldog Award winners. And so I'm going to ask Mr. Parker to come up and to tell us about Ms. Perez.
All right, first off, thanks, board. Sorry for the T-shirt. Says bro on it. We're testing at junior high. Some weird things happen over there. So, but yeah, here for Megan Perez. Megan, if you'll come up here. Just a little bit about Megan. She's an instructional assistant who works closely with our emergent bilingual students. She is a constant source of positivity and support, always ready to lend a hand and always doing so with a smile. Megan is an outstanding advocate for our students, has built a strong, meaningful relationships with them. Kudos to her on this. She recently completed her teaching program in just 3 months.
Wow.
Those of you who are close to that know it takes a while, but she knocked it out in 3 months. So now she's fully prepared to step into a full-time teaching role. Hopefully I can keep her at the junior high. We'll see. But here's Megan. Thanks for all you do. You're awesome. We appreciate you.
Come on up so we can get a picture of both of you. And Megan is a Plainview ISD grad, and we're so happy to have her back. Mr. Parker. All right. Next, from South Elementary, I'll ask Ms. Garcia to come up and to introduce our Bulldog Award winner from South, Ms. Jimenez.
So Ms. Jimenez is the first face that you see when you walk into our building, and she is the voice that you hear answering our telephone. She is just remarkable. She is very friendly. Dr. Sanchez said that he was afraid Chick-fil-A was going to recruit her to start training their employees. But she's very personable. She's the person that translates for us, and she's just got a way of developing relationships with our parents our staff, and our students. We couldn't be prouder of Ms. Jimenez.
So we're gonna have you come up and your family?
And your husband.
So we can get a picture of y'all up front? All right, next we have Mr. Hernandez, who will introduce Mr. Kenneth Walker, one of our band directors, and talk about a distinguished recognition by Reader's Digest's America's Favorite Teacher.
Okay, so we want to recognize, well, first of all, thank you, School Board and Dr. Sanchez. We want to recognize one of our very own, Mr. Kenneth Walker. He was recently nominated for the Reader's Digest America's Favorite Teacher Award. And just to give you a little bit of his bio so you understand just how awesome this is. He graduated from Wayland, got his master's from Texas State University, began his career built on excellence and service. Before he came to Plainview, he was a head band director at Rawls for 10 years, where he led the band to the UIL 2A state marching contest. His influence extends far beyond his own programs. He has served as a consultant and clinician for numerous small schools in West Texas, including Tahoka, Plains, Crosbyton, Whiteface, and Jayton. His work now has not gone unnoticed. He has recently been honored with the Cotton Patch National Hometown Hero Award and was a quarterfinalist for the Grammy Music Educator Award, both recognizing his impact on students and communities. What makes his journey even more inspiring is his battle with lupus, a chronic autoimmune disease that has not stopped him from showing up every day for his students. Through grueling hours in extreme weather, late nights and early mornings, and long stretches away from his family, he remains steadfast in his mission. He is not just a music educator. He teaches life, discipline, and resilience. His patience, kindness, and dedication have earned him the respect of students, parents, and colleagues alike. This is one of the greatest men I've ever known, a supporter shared. His commitment to his calling is beyond explanation. He not only teaches music, but he teaches life. So we want to recognize Mr. Kenneth Walker.
All right, y'all come on up so we can get a picture, please. Try to hide. All right. Next on the agenda, we have Ms. Long and Ms. Cassie to talk about the mini grant award winners. And we appreciate the tremendous support from the Plainview business community and community at large for providing the mini grants. They help teachers accomplish some of the neat projects and things that really make school fun. I mean, of course, everybody likes math problems and essays and science tests, but what the grants do is they provide teachers an opportunity to do a lot of things above and beyond just what is in the curricula or in the textbook. So, Ms. Long.
Good evening. Ms. Cassie is unable to be here tonight, but I'm super excited to announce our mini grant recipients. So first we have Patty White from South. Her program was titled Doodling with Handwriting, and she received a grant for $150. Miss Stacy Barrett, science teacher at PJH. She had the program titled 8th Grade Science Star Review. She received a mini grant for $300. She is unable to be here tonight, but way to go, Miss Barrett. We have Nicole Abel from ASH Labs, ASH Science Classes, and she was awarded a $300 mini grant. Tracy McIntyre from North with It's a Hit for $300. Kylie Van Pelt from PHS, Murder Mystery Forensics, $300. Renee Kaler, PHS, Read to Succeed, $300. Sarah Marquez, Central Problem Solving Through Games, $150. Sarah is our elementary GT coordinator. Olivia Stanfield at the intermediate, Functional Complex Access Needs for $150. Kimberly Lee at the junior high, Technology Applications for $300. Tanya Smith from South, Empowering Young Learners in Math. Annabelle Gutierrez, North, Supplements for Math, $150. Lisa Davis from the junior high, Resource Reading Library, $300. Armando Martinez at North for Run Club, $300. Nikki Polando, Intermediate, Pod 5B Star, $300. Laura Quintanilla from South, Building Bright Minds, $300. Lorinda Hayes from South, Frog Street Phonics and Literacy Skills, $300. Brittany Moses, Education Complex. She runs our Restore program, and it was for a Restore Care Closet for $300. And last but not least, Miss Jennifer Webb from Central for a Star Store, $150. We are beyond grateful to be the recipients of these mini grants. That total was $4,650 that they provided. So thanks to them. Congratulations.
Very good.
Just as we have a myriad of opportunities in athletics, we have a myriad of opportunities in academics. So at this time, we will begin our UIL academic student recognition. And so Ms. Hernandez will lead us through that because I think it's like a unabridged dictionary of students who have earned recognitions.
We do. In fact, we do. Okay. So we are recognizing students who completed in UIL academics, showcasing their strengths in wide range of academic disciplines. So how we're going to announce them is the students got multiple awards at the academics. So their certification is going to have their name and then the multiple that they've competed in. So our first student is Hannah Atkins, social studies in second place and advanced to regionals. She also got second in journalism, and she was an alternate in copy and editing. Next, Carson Kaler, social studies, current issues, and events. Mia Gavan, social studies, current issues, and events. Some of these students will not be here, but we're still going to announce their names because they did work very hard for this. Jonathan Solis, social studies and current issues and events. Jaslyn Solis, social studies, current issues and events.
Avani Flores, journalism, headline writing, spelling, and calculator applications. Montana Moore, journalism, copy and editing, computer science, number sense, and mathematics. He also we also missed him from the last board meeting. He was a National Merit semifinalist, and now he is a finalist. Caleb Mitchell, journalism, copy and editing, spelling, and first alternative. Clarissa Gonzalez, spelling and number sense. Ewan Thornhill, literacy criticism, number sense, and mathematics. Marian Dominguez, accounting, mathematics, calculator applications. Callie Morris, computer science, calculator applications. Sam Vasquez, science and calculator applications. Gunnar Manning, science, number sense, mathematics. Darius White, science, number sense, and mathematics. Sarah Hernandez, science, number sense, and mathematics. Okay, now we're going to our single awards. Jacob Mitchell, social studies. Juan Marquez, current issues and events. Kenya Leja, current issues and events. Emily Lund, journalism editorials. Kia Gaitan, journalism, reading, writing, editorial, and feature writing. Aubrey Rodriguez, journalism and feature writing. Jared Balderas, accounting. Leslie Mendoza, accounting. Denise Adame, accounting. Lindsay Mendoza, accounting. Lizette Benavides, accounting. Amir Zanibek, computer science. Alex Davila, computer science. Julius Zapata, computer science. Natalie Macedo, science. Alan Kelm, science. Luke Carroll, calculator applications. And Jocelyn Flores, calculator applications. Get one photo of y'all real quick. Next we have Spanish Club state results with Miss Nava. Spanish Club students placed in multiple events, both written and creative. So let's celebrate their state success level. Oscar Rivera, first place in poetry, recitation, native language. Ash Mitchell, first poetry recitation, non-native, and third essay writing. Ruby Garcia, first place in photography. Marlene Reyes, second in photography. Jose Reyes, first in drawing. Raquel Moreno, Eliza Sanchez, first in piñatas. And they also brought their piñata tonight.
Oh, that is cool.
And they made that from scratch. Diego Holguin, second in piñatas. Mariah Porres, first in models. And this is our Spanish club. Okay, our next certifications are boys basketball. Our boys basketball team had a standout season with several earning top honors on the court and in the classroom. First one is Maddox Ellis, first team all district, first team Herald Super Team, and Herald MVP. Dominique Fulton, first team all district, second team Herald Super Team. Jordan Porter, honorable mention. Brilliant Ridley, honorable mention. Esteban Armendariz, honorable mention. THSCA and TABC Academic All-State. Isaiah Sejimba, THSCA and TABC Academic All-State. Alex Davila, THSCA and TABC Academic All-State. And those are our boys basketball awards. Now our boys soccer program. Uziel Esparza, second team all district. Uriel Bermares, honorable mention. Hector Rodriguez, honorable mention. And they currently just finished the third season. Now we are going to announce our senior NHS students, who is by Ms. Shackelford and Ms. Franklin. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, our NHS roster. Aiden Alacron. Hannah Atkinson. Eric Avila. Jared Balderas. Lizette Benavides. Clayton Cooper. Philip Dyson. Humberto Espino. Eloy Figueroa. Daniela Flores. Madeline Johnston. Gavin Juarez. Ava Landeros. Angel Medina. Lindsay Mendoza. Montana Moore. Brooke Nels. Landry Nelson. Cameron Plante. Keely Ramos. Matthew Rogers. Anastasia Sanchez. Maylee Sacedo. Joshua Starkey. Ewan Thornhill. Anthony Woodson. AJ Alcazar. Jordan De Leon. Hannah Garcia. Patience Garcia. Carissa Gonzalez. Luke Harrell. Emma Mayo. Miley Miller. Jacob Mitchell. James Mitchell. And those are NHS seniors.
A lot of seniors. Seniors.
Next up, we have Stuco. For their leadership and service, they won a state qualification for this. Our first student is Ethan Agri, Argi. Aubrey Agundis. Aiden Alcaron. Jonathan Adape. Gabriela Amato. Emerson Anthony. Esteban Amendares. Isela Barrentos. Cadence Bailey. Lizeth Benavides. Abraham Cedillo. Camila Corral. Tatiana De Castro. Maya Duran. Layla Flores. Manny Garcia. Carissa Gonzalez. Camila Gutierrez. Giovanna Hernandez. Jason Isagiri. Jersey Lawson. Ariana Marroquin. Tatiana McDonald. Morelli Mendoza. Sari Montelongo. Jaylee Nixon. Gunnar Planta. And I believe that is all. And these are our Stuco. And those are our certifications.
Ms. Hernandez, did girls powerlifting not? Okay, all right. Wanted to be sure we didn't miss them. All right. The last two groups, National Honor Society and Student Council, they do a tremendous amount of volunteer work. At graduation, when we go through the graduation honors, they'll stand up and be recognized by the number of hours they have volunteered in our community, and it is something impressive. And so I did want to recognize National Honor Society and Student Council for all of the volunteer work they do to make Plainview an even better place. With that, Mr. President, if we could have a short recess to allow our very busy students who are involved in about everything an opportunity to head to what's next for them.
Thank you again, students. Congratulations, and parents, thank you for your support. We'll take about a 10-minute break. It is 6:32. 6:42, we can continue with our meeting. Ms. Vice President?
Okay, so our Plainview Education Foundation report, Mr. Salazar and I are serving on that currently. So we have some exciting things going on at the Education Foundation, with Miss Tracy Dawson is the president, and we have a great group of leaders in place there. We've welcomed several new members over the last couple of months and still have people contacting us that are interested in joining, so that's been exciting. We did schedule the gala. It's going to be September 27th, and Rattlesnake Milk is the band that they have been able to get. Apparently, they're pretty famous, so I'm kind of excited to hear them. Sean Lewis and Andrew Chavez both play in the band, and they're both Plainview graduates. So, and they were also able to secure Sunset Point out south of town on the interstate, the big building. So mark that on your calendars, September 27th. Also, Alicia Ellis will speak for a little bit before the band comes on. So it should be an exciting time. Mark that on your calendar, and you should see information coming out to be able to get your table and your tickets and support the Education Foundation. We have some great things going on. Anything to add, Mr. Salazar?
No, that's it. Good job.
All right. And then we'll have our superintendent report. Dr.
Okay.
Sanchez?
The first part of the superintendent report, I'd like to turn over to Mrs. Sarah Ramirez, who's our special education director, and she is going to introduce a parent and talk a little bit about some success with our Restore program. So,
Apologize, board. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you about our program. I was not able to have the parent here this evening, but she did give me permission to share her child's story. We have a student who has had a difficult beginning in school. I've worked with the child since pre-K and just seen some of the struggles that he had in the classroom. And one of the things that we had some difficulty with was how to best meet his needs with the resources that we had in our public school system. And if you fast forward a little bit of time, we got Brittany Moses, who was here earlier, receiving a mini grant. That's one of the many things she's wonderful at, is finding that outside resources to help our kiddos. She was able to help us put together an exceptional program for our students who struggle in the classroom, who may have more extreme behavior, but also they get to the point they don't enjoy school. They don't want to be here. It's not a safe or comfortable place for them for whatever reason. And so this young man was able to start in our Restore program at the beginning of the school year. And I shared with Mom, and I will share with y'all while not crying. I don't work with the child daily, but I had seen him on and off throughout the years, and I had not seen him smile before. And the first time I got to see him smile was at Restore, and he talked to me, and he wanted to help me build the fence outside so that they would have their playground. I politely declined because that is not in my skill set. But I saw him come out of his shell and start to engage. And one of the things Brittany does very well is track behavior. She is the queen of data. And she started saying, man, even on days where other kids are really having difficulty, this child is successful, and not just at like 75% successful. He was hitting 100% success rate. And what that means is he was not experiencing any behavior difficulty at all throughout the day. He was accomplishing everything that was asked of him and more. And so we were able to start him back at a campus. And he started with half a day, which is a big step for our students. We usually start with about one class period. He started with half a day, and we're fixing to put him back full day. We're fixing to take that step. And it's not perfect because nobody has a perfect day at school, not even the teachers. But he is so much improved, and we have seen such success. His mother is thrilled with the progress. It's just been, gosh, if I could take a picture and have a poster child, and just the experience has been so good for him. And the beauty of that is next year he will go to another school, and he will start off on the right foot. He will start off having experienced some success at school, and I anticipate that's going to set him up for a very successful future in Plainview ISD. And I just asked Dr. Sanchez if I could share that information with all of you, and I highly encourage you to go tour the program if you get an opportunity. Talk to Brittany, talk to the staff that work there. I rave about Brittany all the time. She couldn't do it alone. All of her staff members contribute to that success, and they are day in, day out dedicated. They don't miss. They don't get subs. They are there consistently and faithfully, and that contributes to all of the kids' success. But this young man in particular was just really impressive. So thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity.
The next item I'd like to address in the superintendent's report is, as the board witnessed, we have just a lot of opportunities for students in Plainview ISD, from traditional sports that we've had for as long as Plainview ISD has been in existence, like football and basketball and track and field and volleyball, to newer sports such as soccer. We also have a robust offering in our academics, and as you saw, we have quite a few students that are advancing even to the national level when it comes to academics. We also have quite a few clubs and organizations, and you got to meet people from the Spanish Club. You saw some of our students that are part of Student Council, and you were able to see in the past some of our students that are part of our bowling club, and many of the students that were up here receiving academic awards are also part of our chess club. So we have a tremendous number of opportunities. One of the opportunities that we're looking at establishing and working to get our footing is with a wrestling program. And so where we are in that journey is in a very similar place to where we were years ago when we were looking at the soccer program. So you look at templates, you look at processes. And so I'd say at a point in time, probably my second year in the district, I met with a group of parents and community members that were very interested in a soccer program. And I remember explaining to them that it's a process, that we need to build a club, we need to build interest, we need to get the program rolling, because by the time we hit competition at the high school level, because soccer, like wrestling, there's no elementary component that's sponsored by the University Interscholastic League, there's no junior high component, there's only a high school component. And so when you get into high school, you're competing with programs that have been there for a good while and are established. And so much like with our soccer program, Coach Hernandez put the work in to begin working with the young people that were interested in soccer. And so where we are right now is we really need to work to have a robust enough club so that at the point in time we do inform the UIO District Committee that we would like to go forward with a competitive program in wrestling, that we know who our roster is on the girls' side, who our roster is on the boys' side, who's going to wrestle, what their weight class is, and so on and so forth. And it's not something that happens overnight, as with our soccer program. It took a series of years to put it into place, even though all around Plainview, there were quite a few kids and young people that played soccer. And Coach Hernandez himself played soccer for Wayland and never played soccer for high school, for the Plainview High School team, and he was a high school graduate at Plainview. And so, again, gleaning off that experience of what it takes to put it into place, there are a myriad of steps. And with those steps, the first step, I had the opportunity to meet with a couple of parents. One of them scheduled a meeting, and I appreciate Ms. Veta stopping by and sharing her passion for soccer with me. And I look forward to talking to her a bit more. I also had the opportunity, I was visiting South actually to recognize Ms. Jimenez for the Bulldog Award, and Mr. Navarrete caught me as they were exiting the cafeteria, and I had the opportunity to visit with he and his wife as well. And so I do appreciate the opportunity to just sit down and listen. I mean, I hope I did more listening than talking at that time. And so moving forward, next Wednesday, I believe at 9 o'clock, I have an open door for parents and community who are interested in the wrestling program, so we can talk through all the things that we need to get into place. And really and truly, we need to set I'd say milestones or markers, or we need to set tick marks on what we need to accomplish by when. Because if we're going to step into UIL competition in our area is pretty robust. We have some teams that have made it to the state level in UIL, which is pretty competitive out of the Kenyon district. And so, again, I'm not saying our kids can't compete. I believe they can, and I believe they will. We just need to have the right structure in place for that to take place. And so, as I mentioned, next Wednesday at 9, we will sit and begin that process of talking and working to identify how many students we currently have at each level, elementary, intermediate, junior high, and high school. Really taking a look at who's in the pipeline in high school, because that's where UIL happens. Also taking a look at, by 26, 27, how many will be ready to wrestle competitively, taking a look at budgeted items. Of course, the budget is something that comes before the board and it goes through the regular budgeting process. And so we would need the board's approval for that. We also have to take a look at club competition for this next year so that we can continue to develop as we did with soccer. We ran 2 years of club competition, and the YMCA helped us run the 2 years of club competition, and we were able to get some coaches from the community, and some were Wayland athletes that helped us. And so that's a structure that needs to be in place. It's not the final structure, but without that structure, we don't have a pipeline of students who are ready to wrestle at the varsity level or for University Interscholastic League, where they'll, at the state level, be wrestling against the best in the state of Texas. So that needs to be also looked at. Also, to have a conversation, this was a point Ms. Vedder had brought up, how can we host a tournament here as a major fundraiser for the club? And so it was a great idea from her, and I appreciate that. And I think that's something that we can do. Again, taking a look at what do we need to put in place for that to happen. And I talked with Chief De La Garza, and he volunteered security. He said we can run security for it. So it's an exciting opportunity. And we want to be sure that as we close out 24-25 and we take a look at 25-26 and the steps that come next, that we are checking all the boxes and going through all the things. It would be unfair, as it would have been in soccer, to just put a team out on the field that hadn't gone through all of the paces and preparation necessary. And so we want to be sure that we do the same thing. Do I believe that there are some that are ready to wrestle UIL next year? I'm sure there are. But what we want to be sure is that we have a full squad on the men's side and women's side ready to compete. And so that when we do arrive at the other districts' tournaments, and when we even host our own, that we're organized and that we have all the details from mouthpieces to uniforms to mats, and everything else that is required to have a successful program. Again, it's not something that one person does, but it's something that many people together do. However, there does need to be a tip of the spear to move forward. Otherwise, all we have is a stick, and we find ourselves hitting each other with it instead of striking and moving forward. So with that, I'll yield to the board if there are any questions on this topic before I move to the next topic, which is the legislature and Senate Bill 2.
Board, any questions, comments?
I think we're all always excited to get new opportunities for our kids. It's just like, budget is an important part of it, and making sure that everything's in place as far as safety, location, having the facilities that we need to begin the program. So, yeah, I know we talked about it before, and we'll continue to try to work to get it going.
Yeah, I would say just impressed by the crowd here today, show interest in this program, right? So we start somewhere. We have to start somewhere, just like we did with soccer. So kudos to everybody here showing interest and continuing that drive. Really appreciate the effort for sure. So.
Yes, thank you.
All right. The next item I'll touch on briefly is Senate Bill 2. As the board has been made aware, this is a legislative year. So what happens during a legislative year? Well, the legislature takes a look at the budget for the next 2 years. Texas is funny that way. It functions in every 2 years. UIL functions in every 2 years, and the legislature meets every 2 years. And it's a good thing that the legislature meets every 2 years, because if they met every year, I don't think we would be able to keep up with the many things that they change, delete, and add. So one of the big topics has been public school finance. Last year in Texas, 80% of the school districts in the state of Texas declared a deficit budget. So what's that in a nutshell? A deficit budget is a budget where there are more expenditures than there are revenue streams. Simply, Texas has been funding public schools the same way with the same amount of funding per student since 2019. But I'm sure the board understands, as does everybody else in here, nothing costs the same today as it did in 2019. So you get to a point to where the money that's coming in compared to the costs that are increasing, even though they're the exact same costs, the same bus route, the same lunch, the same lights that are turned on, all cost more. So 80% of the school districts in Texas declared a deficit. Plainview ISD last year had a structural deficit of $2 million. And on top of that, the district chose to move forward with building the welding shop for our career and technical education program, as we have students that will graduate with industry-based certification, which means they're able to get a job that pays well above $60,000 upon graduation, especially if you're in the Midland, Odessa area. So looking at last year's budget, it was a deficit 4.5 million. Going into this next year, we anticipate, if we proceed similarly, there is a $2 million structural deficit. So with that $2 million structural deficit, the legislature has committed, in round numbers and rough numbers, about $2 million. And so with that $2 million, that'll break the district even, which means we're still going to have to take a look at a tremendous number of cost-cutting measures to make sure that there is money available in the situation that, as we had with intermediate, $40,000 air conditioning unit went down, or in the situation with the windstorm on March 14th that peeled the edge off of the intermediate school. So those are the kinds of expenses that no one anticipates, but we have to have the money to address. So again, in a brief summary, we anticipated $2 million structural deficit. The legislature said they'll commit $2 million. That breaks us flat even if nothing bad happens. And we have to always keep in mind that there are those unexpected costs, or before the governor signs Senate Bill 2, somebody makes a change or adjustment. Of course, Senate Bill 2 comes with the voucher component. So what are vouchers? Vouchers mean a student and family that qualifies can take a voucher and go to a private school. Of course, the private school has to be accredited for 2 years, but regardless, there's always the potential for losing students and revenue based on the number who go to private schools. And then there's a homeschool component where families would get a lesser voucher in the $2,000 range for a voucher. So if you look at it, the homeschool voucher is about $2,000. The private school voucher is above $10,000. And public schools are getting about $360 per student. So that's the difference. So when you see the legislature declare that they committed $8 billion to public education, a lot of that $8 billion is going to the voucher program at $10,000 plus a student, or to the homeschool support program at $2,000 plus a student, not the $360 per student. And that's not a PISD thing, that's a state of Texas thing. So do you have any questions? And we continue to monitor Senate Bill 2. We still don't have the template from the Texas Association of Business Officials. They put one out that we use that kind of gives us an idea of what our revenue looks like going into next year. Okay. None? All right, that concludes the superintendent's report.
I believe we do have some citizen comments, so we will move to that portion of our meeting. Mr. President, do you want to read the rules on that, or we have,
Yeah, would you?
we have 6, so they'll have 1 minute apiece each to
On the same
speak,
topic?
because they're all on the same topic. Is that
That's correct.
right? That's correct. Okay. So, Ms. Secretary, if you will.
There's only 5 speakers.
Okay, I have 6 papers.
We were told we can combine two of them and put them on one.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so I see these 2 are on. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we will start with those 2. We'll have 5 speakers, 1 minute each.
Still 1 minute?
Yes. More than 5 is 1 minute. Is that correct, Mr. President? So we'll have. Oh, okay.
More than 5
Let me
on the
read
same
through.
topic would be 1 minute,
Monica and
or 5 or more.
are
I'm sorry.
going to speak together. We have Yuri, Joseph, Adrian.
I was here last year. My name is Mona Vera. We're trying to get the wrestling program. You can see these are all the people here. Would y'all stand up, please, guys? Because we're all here for wrestling. We were here last year. We had more last year. So we don't understand. Y'all talked to us. Y'all told us last year that we were going to get this program. We have been doing everything that we were supposed to. I am the president booster of the wrestling club. So I would constantly talk to Chris and ask him, what are they saying? Where's our money? What's going on? How can we go about this? Can we start fundraising? What do we need to do? And it was brought to our attention that there was no money, there was no budget. I asked if we can fundraise. We're willing to do whatever we need to do to fundraise. We've had donors. I was just talking to Noe Baez at Wayland right now. They're willing to help us. I don't understand. I understand that everybody has budgets, but I'm just going to go over a few little things. Bushland, Texas. Population 2,640 has a wrestling program. Happy, Texas. Population 608 has a wrestling program. Plainview, 20,000 population, and we don't have a wrestling program. I understand. We have reached out to athletic director. I never got a call back. There's lots of us parents here. And Mr. Sanchez, when you were sitting there talking about that our kids aren't ready, we're competing against Friendship. If y'all were to ever go to any of these tournaments, we are competing against Friendship, Caprock, Wesley, all of the schools that are in our district, we're competing against them. Madison came in 4th in state. There's several of the kids that came in state. So to me, you're not even giving our kids a chance because we are competing. We're beating Friendship Kid. Last week, Madison we were in Amarillo. She came in 1st. And there was a kid from the Result. That's Friendship District. There's a kid from Amarillo. We're winning. So for you to say that we're not ready, you haven't gone. I mean, I would really recommend any of y'all to go to a wrestling tournament so you can see all the people, everybody that goes. It's a fundraising. We can make so much money. And and that brings into the community. People, we have tournaments here. You have hotels. We travel. We go to state, and next weekend I'll be renting a room in Dallas. We rent rooms. That would benefit the school, our community, everything. And it just blows my mind. I mean, there's back and forth. I don't understand. Y'all say one thing, we see another thing. I don't understand. I do have a question for Mr. Sanchez. We have been preaching and going on about this wrestling program. Why today you finally put it out on the Plainview Athletics when it hasn't been there all year long? That's a question I have. You sent it out to everybody. And I mean, I don't understand that. If you were truly against for wrestling, why weren't we advertising this at the beginning of the year? You told us that we were going to get wrestling in 25, 26. We're doing all the fundraising.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, we have Joseph Rios.
Good evening. Sorry. All right. Good evening, school board and Dr. Sanchez. Thank you guys for allowing us to speak today. I appreciate your time. My name is Joseph Rios, and I am the head boys and girls wrestling coach at Lubbock Cooper High School. I started the wrestling program for Lubbock Cooper ISD 4 years ago. My district started this program from the interest of one mother and one student athlete who was about to start her freshman year. She competed for a local club team where she was having success, sort of like some of these TWA athletes. And if my memory serves correct, she was one of the few, if not the only LCISD student who wrestled in the Lubbock area. In middle school, she did not make the volleyball or basketball teams, but she pole vaulted during the track season and was a part of extracurricular activities, but her true passion was wrestling. The Lubbock Cooper program did not have all of this interest that you see here prior to when the district decided to add the sport. It was not until after I was hired that they sent out an interest email, and our program actually started in between UIL realignment years. So we positioned to be put into a district and were easily accepted. And for the first 2 years, for that first year, we actually qualified 2 girls for the state tournament. One of which was the girl I spoke of earlier, and she took 3rd as a freshman, and her only loss was to the eventual state champ. Next, I'd like to speak to who Mr. Ramirez is and how he cares deeply for wrestling in the city of Plainview. 2 years ago, when Mr. Ramirez was working in Lubbock, I tried to convince him to move to Lubbock and work for LCISD. I gave him my best pitch to him and his wife, and even tried to offer them both jobs on 2 separate occasions, and both times Mr. Ramirez turned me down due to what he had going on here with Texas Wrestling Academy and his loyalty to Plainview and his dream he had of starting the program at Plainview High School. If Mr. Ramirez did not care deeply about starting the program in Plainview, he could have jumped ship easily and joined a successful program at the time. This year, he was ecstatic when Plainview ISD brought him to the district with the intent to establish a UIL-sponsored wrestling program next year. Mr. Ramirez, having 6 years of coaching experience here in the city of Plainview and eager to start the program, he quickly reached out to myself and head coach Richard Liao from Lubbock High to ask us questions about building a program, managing a budget, and what all it would take to start a program in UIL. After speaking with us, he felt very confident and ready that through a minimal budget, he'd be able to start the program next year. We run our budget of $10,000. Now to the sport of wrestling.
Thank you. Next, we have Adrian Borrego Navarrete. Navarrete? Navarrete.
Hello. First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Sanchez for giving us the time to speak with you yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and for hearing us out. I'm speaking on behalf of my husband and I and our 6 children who also attend the elementary here, the intermediate, the junior high, and the collegiate / the high school. Recently, we did have that meeting, and I walked out deeply concerned, not just about what was said, but what was not being said. It became clear that a lot of blame was being placed on Coach Chris for the wrestling program not being ready for the UIL competition. But I have to ask, isn't Coach Chris not yet, or doesn't seem to be in the running for the official head coach? So then respectfully, I asked, why is the responsibility not being placed where it is rightfully belongs to? Why is the athletic director not being accountable for ensuring this program was ready for the 25-26 school year? This goes beyond one coach. This is about leadership. And with leadership, without leadership fails to do this job, it's not just the program that suffers, it's the students. And there's other issues that we can ignore. Our daughter is involved in a sport that directly conflicts with the wrestling season basketball with the wrestling program. It runs at the same time. That's not what's unfortunate. that's a clear conflict of interest. It's been brought to my attention that a coach has made several inappropriate and discouraging comments to my daughter, telling her that the program doesn't look promising, and if it did, that she'd be forced to choose between the sports. Let me be clear, no coach should ever make a student feel like their opportunities are limited because of personal bias. This kind of language doesn't just discourage, it damages confidence, potential, and trust in decisions that affect dozens of students, athletes that shouldn't be influenced by one person's narrow perspective. Our kids deserve leadership that supports their group, not someone who imposes limits on it. Also, in our meeting with Mr. Sanchez, he mentioned that Mr. Ramirez didn't do things to get this program going. I would like clarification on what specific things are you referring to, because accusations without accountability are not solutions, they're distractions. We owe it to our students, our athletes, and to our community to demand better. We must hold the right people responsible and take real steps towards building this program that reflects the potential of our students, not politics of adults. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Pena, am I saying that correctly? Oh, sorry.
I won't take too much of your time. So my name is Michael Mena, and I'm a assistant wrestling coach, men's and women's at Wayland Baptist University. We fundraised $30,000 in athletic scholarship. A lot of the kids that came up over here and were receiving rewards, you know, we're in a position to distribute that, but it would be very difficult to do so if there isn't a program. So also we have some other fundraising initiatives in addition to the athletic scholarships that we can also help with. It seems like you guys are really on board with starting this. It's just a matter of time. You get your people, process, and product. I mean, from what you've said about starting the other sports, and you went through it with soccer, so it seems like those things it's just a matter of time. So I guess what I want to do is just let you know that Wayland's on board with supporting it all in due time. And if there's anything else that we can do to assist, we're on board with you guys. I also met the Ramirez family last week. They actually had a tournament at Wayland. And so I went over and recruited it, and we actually did divvy out about $15,000 that day in scholarships. So it was a great opportunity for everybody. And it definitely saved on the recruiting budget because I lived across the street. So I was like, perfect. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yuri Medina? Do I have the right name there? Okay, so then we have a combined with Monica Diaz and Anaya Navarrete. Have they already spoken? Is there one more that wants to speak?
Good evening. My name is Alanai Navarrete. I'm a sophomore at Plainview High School, as well as a participant in the Plainview Collegiate High School.
Hi, my name is Monica Diaz, and I'm a freshman at the Plainview High School.
I'm speaking tonight because I care deeply about something that isn't currently guaranteed in our high school system. For many of us, including myself, wrestling offers an opportunity to connect with others, stay active, and open doors for future scholarships and careers. To all who this may concern, Coach Ramirez is one of the kind-hearted and supported people I've ever met. When I first started as a wrestler with Coach Ramirez and his wife, Myra, I felt comfortable, and they were great coaches who got me to state on my first year. The support from them made me feel like a kid of their own, and they believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. This is now a time where what he has done for me can benefit others as well. He is the most qualified because he's incredibly knowledgeable about the sport. Having a coach like him shows that we already have the heart and leadership ready to build a strong wrestling program in our high school system. What we need now is the opportunity. Letting wrestling into our school means giving a student a new outlet to grow and a new team to be a part of, and a new way to thrive. Since my freshman year, I have been trying to recruit And I've been talking to classmates, speaking about the word, encouraging students to try something new and empowering. Wrestling has built confidence in me and taught me discipline and given me a purpose. I know it could do the same for so many others if we were given the chance. And while the community has stood behind us, showing up, supporting us, and helping build a wrestling club, Plainview ISD has not. There has been other coaches stating wrestling might not be part of the Plainview ISD, and it doesn't look promising, even though we've had a coach who has gone above and beyond making something out of nothing just to give us an opportunity. Those statements really discourage me, as he has done everything he can with what little he's been given. And now when we're finally gaining momentum, when students are showing up and showing interest, I hear that the district is trying to push it back again. Now we're saying it won't be considered until my senior year. After all this work, all this progress, they want to delay it again. Some people might think wrestling is just a sport, but to me, it's a way of life. Wrestling is where I found my strength, my confidence, and my voice. Wrestling taught me discipline. It taught me to show up even when I was tired, to push harder when I wanted to quit, and to respect both victory and defeat. It's not just about strength, it's about heart, and mine beats for the sport.
My family is full of mixed martial artists, and since I was walking, I have been taught to be a competitive athlete. I've been a martial artist all of my life, and I have been wrestling for the past 6 years. Last year, as an 8th grader, I qualified for the state tournament where I placed high and made the Texas national girls team.
We'll go ahead and let you finish.
As a freshman this year, I have not been able to continue competing because of all the other high school wrestlers do not attend youth tournaments during the UIL high school season. Since the decision last year was to open the program at the high school for the school year, I kept my hopes up knowing I could still have the chance at competing starting my sophomore year. I want to be a part of sports in school, but all the other sports are not for me. But different sports are for different people. I know wrestling is for me. Please consider allowing the wrestling program to begin this school year. Thank you.
Just to make sure we didn't miss anybody, there was one paper with Yuri Medina. Did they want to speak? No? You already had your
No,
time,
sir.
I think.
No,
Thank
sir,
you.
you can't.
No, you already had
Yeah.
your time, sir.
Thank you all for coming. We really do appreciate your comments. Thank you. All right, we will move on with our business items. Our first item is approval for the out-of-state same-day field trip to Carlsbad Caverns.
Yes, ma'am, and Board President and Board of Trustees, we're seeking approval for out-of-state same-day travel for a field trip to Carlsbad Caverns for a group of students in a resource class, and this gives them the opportunity to experience science firsthand, and this would be something that would be of great benefit to our resource students who are in resource biology and chemistry. So with that, I'll like to make a recommendation that the board approve out-of-state same-day trip to Carlsbad for our resource students.
Thank you so much I don't ever get to come up here, and I've been up here twice today. So part of that is because Jan came in and said, oh, by the way, I have something. Would you like to read it? But she has changed her mind. Jan Ragland is one of our resource teachers at the high school, but to know Jan is to love Jan. She has got such a heart for our kids, and so she's put together this proposal, and she said she's going to wing it. So she'll do great.
Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. Last year, I've been teaching for the district 22 years now. Last year, I was talking to my resource history classes, and they said, can we go on a field trip? And I said, sure. I gave them 4 places. They chose Palo Duro Canyon and the South Plains historical deal. That's where we loved it. So this year the kids are like, where are we going? Where are we going? I gave them 4 classes. This year they decided to go to Carlsbad. Not only does Carlsbad include history, but it also includes their science. I have gotten with the Carlsbad Rangers, Park Rangers. They are going through their education program, and it will be free to our students to go. All I'm asking for y'all is the transportation there and the gas. I always furnish the lunch. We usually take a picnic and have it wherever we're at. Last year, we had it at Paladura, and we went hiking and ate a sandwich and chips, and then went. This year, we're going to do the same thing, except our lunch will be in Carlsbad, hopefully, if you approve the van, or actually the Suburban and the gas. We will leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. We will meet with the park ranger about 11 their time. We should be back here no later than 8 o'clock that night. And most of these kids, it's a hands-on learning experience. Most of them did not even realize Carlsbad was around here. Most of them have not even been to Paladura. There's only 4 children going. But I try to do this for my SPAD kids and my resource classes every year. So thank you for listening.
What date is this again?
It would be May, I had to go by what the park ranger said, and it has to be May the 2nd is when they okayed it. I've already got their educational program. I got with them to make sure that they would approve the educational part, and I had to send in where our TEKs met their requirements, both in the science and the history department.
Okay.
Got any other questions?
Board, any questions, comments?
Hope the weather is great and you all have a great time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna entertain a motion for item number 1.
I'll make a move that we approve the field trip for the Carlsbad Caverns.
All right, got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Ms. Rivera. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Our second item is the application for staff development minutes waiver.
This is a housekeeping item each year. Our teachers undergo professional development at the beginning of the year and throughout the year. This, with your approval, the 2,100 minutes would be given back to the district, and we use those during bad weather days or when the wind is taking the roof off buildings or when we're under severe weather warnings and so on and so forth. So with that, with your approval, this would be for next year. So I'm making a recommendation for application for staff development minutes waiver for your consideration and approval.
Board, questions, comments on this item? Not hearing none. I intend a motion for item number 2.
I so move we approve the application for staff development minutes waiver.
Got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 3, consideration approval of the 24-25 application for missed school days waiver. I think this is about that wind day that we had.
Yes, this is for March 14, 2025, when we were under severe weather warning due to 60-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 90. And so with your approval, we'll submit this, and students and teachers don't have to make the day up at the end of the year. So I'd like to recommend for your consideration and approval the 24-25 application for missed school days waiver.
Board, questions, comments?
I'll just say that on that day, I had never heard of canceling school because of wind, but about 8 o'clock that morning, I was glad we didn't have school buses and people out. That was insane, crazy. So we're glad to get this day back.
What's the turnaround time on this for approval? Do we know?
Amy, do you have that information?
Good evening, Board. If, with your approval, we will submit the application tomorrow morning, and normally within the same day or 24 hours, we will receive notification from TEA whether we were approved the day or not.
Okay. Worst case scenario, we don't get approved.
Since you approved the professional development waiver the previous year, which we have banked minutes, that will take place of the missed school day waiver. So we should not have to make up the minutes because of that professional development waiver minutes that we have in the bank.
Thank you, man.
It just takes care of us in case there is some other event that occurs. Then this one doesn't count against those minutes that we have banked to get us to the end of the year. I mean, who expected snow in, in April? So.
Sure. I did. All righty, thank you, man. All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for item number, what is it, two? Three.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you. Got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Okay. Fourth item is consideration approval of our annual TEAC certification.
Okay. This item is again a housekeeping item. This just states that we teach the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, which is the state required curricula. And every item that we use in the instructional sense is aligned with the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills because that's how Texas procurement laws go when it comes to the purchase of academic items. But this just basically declares to the state of Texas that we follow the state curricula. So with that, again, housekeeping item, I recommend for consideration and approval that the board approve the annual TEC certification, Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills.
Questions, comments, board? Okay. I entertain a motion for item number 4.
I move to approve.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. No need to look for opposed. Thank you.
Okay, item number 5 is consideration approval of board members certified training credits. And I
Here's-
believe we have those here.
Yes, and I've been highly encouraged by the board member who is not present to let everyone know that Ms. De La Garza is at board training. That's where she is tonight. And that is covered by TASB, so it's not a district expense. It's covered by the Texas Association of School Boards. Mr. Soto usually leads with 16.5. I mean, that's a lot of hours. But with all of the training Ms. De La Garza has gone through, I don't know how many years, maybe 14, but she finally got him with 72.5 hours through the Texas Association of School Boards. I do encourage, and she asked that I encourage all the board members to consider signing up to go through the same training she has. It's really good training. Highly encourage it. So there it is, Ms. De La Garza. So with that, I'll recommend the board's consideration approval, board member certified training credits. Every board member met what was legally required by state law.
And just for the record, she has been rubbing it, that she's got more hours than me, so it's okay. I'll take the L on this one. Any questions, comments? Board, does that look about right? All our times?
Mr. President, I'd like just to make a comment. Is Rosie still here?
No, sir, she's left
No,
by this
I
point.
just want to make a comment and thank her for keeping us in line. There's so many things that we have going on in the process, but she has really kept us on our toes and making sure that we're meeting these deadlines, meeting these trainings. So kudos to Rosie, and I wanted to just publicly announce that and say that. So,
Yes.
She is amazing.
yep.
Any more comments, questions, board? All right, well, entertain a motion for item number 5.
I so move.
I think we got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
No second.
Second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Okay. Consideration approval to purchase our Skyward.
This is an annual renewal. This is one of our reoccurring costs. It's 100 and, let's see, 58,073. A portion of that does get covered by our food service fund. But it is an expensive item, but this is everything. This is payroll, this is student grades, it's everything that runs the district. And trying to migrate to a different system, at some point we'll have to when they upgrade, but we recommend maintaining our current Skyward Enterprise Resource Planning system. But it is a reoccurring cost and it is a big ticket item. So if you have the hard questions, Mr. Wayne Jennings will answer those.
Any questions, board?
When, so what was the price difference from last year to this year, sir?
So last year, we were at $153,337. So they
Okay.
went up just a little, around 5,000. Right there.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we have had it since 1999. Would you say that they've kept up with the changing times and technology, and it's providing still everything that we need?
They've done pretty good on it. The cumulative stuff has a lot of fancier features on it. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a cleaner interface at some point. As of yet, I don't think they offer all of the stuff that we are doing, like the timekeeping and all of their other stuff. So like where people are clocking in, we would have to find another solution for that. So it's one of those, I think the last time that we talked to Skyward, it was going to be within 2 to 3 years, they're going to start forcing people to move to cumulative.
To what was that one?
Within 2 to 3 years, they will start forcing people to move to cumulative, which is their new product. So, and that will be a big migration at that point.
That's tough because even though they say everything will save and transfer, it never does.
No.
Tried changing the numbers from one phone that was an old phone to a new phone, and something's always missing. So it'll be work when we get to that point.
Yes, sir.
Is that quite significantly different price-wise?
Yes, it will be higher when we go to cumulative. So as of now, I have a server sitting over here in our server closet that hosts our Skyward information system. Once we go to cumulative, it will be hosted on their servers and it'll be a substantially higher cost. It'll also be based on usage at that point. Because a lot of those companies will say, hey, you got more utilization here, so we're going to bump you a little bit on that.
So are they giving you an actual timeline that we need to transition over, or is it just?
It is within that next 2 to 3 years, they're going to force everybody.
Board?
So with that, I'll recommend for your consideration and approval to purchase the Skyward renewal.
You know, this is renewing the annual licensing, so. Entertain motion for item number 6.
I'll make a motion, we consider the approval of the purchase of the Skyward renewal.
Thank you. Got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Bass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carry 6-0. Thank you.
Item number 7 is consideration approval to change ASH program to ASH High School.
Many years ago, ASH was ASH High School. When the state accountability system changed, there wasn't a separate carve-out for an alternative high school model. And so ASH High School would have been evaluated the same way PHS would have been evaluated. And so we merged ASH with PHS under the same umbrella. What this would do, it would pull ASH out as an alternative education high school, which has a different set of criteria, which allows ASH to be evaluated under the alternative education evaluative set instead of the traditional one for a comprehensive high school. So this would get ASH its own ID number, and so ASH then would be evaluated based on student performance under that model as a standalone high school instead of as an integrated component. Now, it wouldn't change graduation, it wouldn't change celebrations and those kinds of things where we bring everyone together, but it does provide the autonomy in terms of the accountability system. It does sometimes take our students more than 4 years to graduate at ASH, and sometimes we have students that are over age or out of cohort or have extenuating circumstances, and so of course that counts against, if you take a look at the traditional high school model, a 4-year model, and it's again hard to put all of the kids in the same box when everybody's circumstance is different. So this provides flexibility without it being a impact on the accountability system against the high school if students do need a little more support or a little more time. So with that, I'll recommend consideration and approval to change ASH program to ASH High School.
Board, questions, comments?
I do have a question, and this may have been covered already, but changing over or transitioning the ID, is there any kind of financial bearing on PISD for that?
No, sir, it doesn't cost us
Okay.
anything. It's just a matter of going online with the Texas Education Agency and entering in the change.
Okay.
Questions, comments?
It wouldn't change number of students or anything like that. All that will be, as far as applicants and things like that, it'll be.
No, I mean, we traditionally, between 60 and 80 students are at Ash, and so we would want to maintain the same range.
Okay.
Usually it's lower at the beginning, then it builds up, then it's lower at the end.
Before we make a motion on this, I just, on a side note, Mr. Wallace, we appreciate what you do. I have a coworker that went through the program, and today she told me she loves you. Sarah, it's okay, okay. And I said, why would you say that? She said, because I won't be here if it wasn't for him. So she really appreciates you, and she's just tell him I love him. But what you did for her, and she's a mom, and she's got a career going. So really appreciate what they're doing what y'all doing at the ASH program, which hopefully will become ASH High School. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for item number 7.
I make a motion to change ASH program to ASH High School.
All right, you got a motion by Ms. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, say aye.
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 All righty. ASH High School it is. Thank you.
All right. Item number 8 is a really exciting item to receive a donation, which we always like to do, for our CTE welding program.
With this item, Mr. Danheim is here, and he's not a lover of the microphone, but we'll pull him up so that you can stare at him because he did a really good thing. Not to say that he does bad things. He does a lot of good things. He is our construction project manager, and now he's over our operations, but basically every bit of new construction in Plainview ISD, Mr. Carl Danheim had a hand in it. And so we'll turn it over to Ms. Long to talk about what we're asking the board to approve.
So, good evening. We are here tonight to ask for your consideration and approval to receive a donation of tools for the CTE welding program at a total value of $9,936.46 from the Stanley Black & Decker and DeWalt Company for Grow the Trade. So, Mr. Danheim, you've got this for us. You have I think an attachment that lists all of those items that they're willing to donate. So if you've got questions for him, he's your guy.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, Carl. I just, when Dr. Sanchez first brought this to us, it's just amazing how you were able to do this for our kids, right?
Well, it's strange, Danny. I talked to the lady about purchasing tools for the maintenance personnel, because we purchase tools. She found out about the welding shop and said, you need to look at this program we have. It's actually for trade schools, but she said, find out if we can make this work for a high school. She was able to do it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. We may get you to speak for other programs then.
And they just want their banner hung up. Did I
Yes,
understand
ma'am.
that correctly?
They're going to
Okay.
send us banners we can hang up. Actually, the rep wants to be here if we have an open house, so that'd be awesome too.
Awesome.
So just like when you see football teams, nobody wants to be the official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys anymore, but if DeWalt is the official sponsor of Plainview ISD Welding. So it's a pretty neat thing. And at first, when Carl asked me, did you see the spreadsheet? I thought he wanted $9,000 in tools. And I'm like, what are y'all gonna do with all this stuff? And he's like, no, you're not reading it right. They're giving our kids $9,000 plus, almost $10,000 in tools, so that they can put these tools in these kids' hands, so that in the future, they'll say, oh, no, I only use DeWalt because that's what I started with. So it's a really neat initiative.
That's what the program is. And actually, there's 4 or 5 tools in there for the wood shop. We included them as well. Let Mr. Dawson pick a few tools that they didn't have and probably would never be able to get. So it is. So.
Nice.
All right.
So with that, I'd like to ask for the board's consideration and approval to receive a donation of tools for CT welding program at a total value of $9,936.45 from Stanley Black & Decker DeWalt for Grow the Trade.
Mr. Carl, we appreciate you. Appreciate you kind of detailing it for Dr. Sanchez on that. So. Board, any comments or more questions on this? Not our donations, always great. I mean, but we still gotta go through formality here. I entertain a motion for item number 8.
I so move.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, Carl.
Item number 9 is for Ms. Van Pelt to take our PHS students again on one of her trips in June of 27 to Ireland.
All right, Ms. Long.
All right. I think this is the third one.
Yes.
And so on behalf of Mrs. Van Pelt, we're here for your consideration and approval for Kylie, or Ms. Van Pelt, to take PHS students in June of 2027 to Ireland and use the PISD facilities for informational meetings. She's requesting this opportunity to take students to Ireland in June of 2027. The trip would be available for 7 through 12 graders, parents, and staff. She is partnering again with EF Tours, a world leader in international student travel. This company's been working with school districts for 55 years, and students will earn money to pay for their trip. Again, I'm here on behalf of Mrs. Van Pelt for your consideration and approval of their next outing, their next trip.
And this will be for them to, again, just use facilities. We're not an official sponsor or underwriter or anything. They raise all their funding for it, and we just allow them to use the facilities and to get the word out to build it. So with it, I'll make a recommendation for your approval to allow Ms. Van Pelt to use facilities for informational purposes for her PHS students to potentially go to Ireland June of 2027.
The request here says opportunity to take up to 25 students. In the past trips, have we maxed out on that?
I do not know, sir, but
Okay.
I will find you an answer.
Okay, no.
Oh,
The
here's
answer
Tyler.
just stood
There she
up.
is. I was like, I didn't see her.
We just thought, since we only took 13, we're gonna open it up for 25, but we can have up to 100. As many as we get,
okay.
we can accommodate.
Okay.
And so it is an opportunity. They do, it's $4,000, paid over 2 years. We are going to do GoFundMe, hopefully some other kind of things to fundraise. And we're going to take 9 days and go over there from Belfast, Dublin, all around Giant's Causeway, different castles and churches and things. So it's going to be a really historical and kind of just a cultural tour, just like the Costa Rica trip was.
Awesome. Okay.
My apologies, Ms. Van Pelt. I did not see you come in, but I'm glad you.
But De La Garza was interested in being a sponsor too, so she is every year. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Board, any more questions, comments? Not, I entertain a motion for item number 9.
I'll make a motion, we approve item number 9 as presented.
Thank you. Got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0. Enjoy.
All right, we got lots of travelers going places. This next item is item number 10 for out-of-state travel to the BPA National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here for your consideration and approval for out-of-state travel to the BPA National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to ask Mr. Fitzgerald to come up and kind of read to you what's going on with our sponsor and our student.
One of the privileges I get to do is be director of CT and work with wonderful teachers and students. And so we wanted to kind of share that Marion Dominguez, who's here with us, is a junior at PHS, has qualified to compete at the National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida, May 7th through 11th. You may remember her brother, Giovanni Dominguez, who was always up here. I think he went to the same set, made it to nationals too, so it runs in the family. She qualified in advanced spreadsheet applications, which is Microsoft Excel. As part of this competition, she will also take the Certiport Moss Excel Expert Test. Yaya Brookins, also a junior, will be attending along with Marion. Yaya is a candidate to receive her Ambassador Torch Award. The Torch Award program recognizes leadership service and competitions students have completed. We aren't sure if she will get it this year, but we definitely will be able to next year because of this opportunity to attend. And we just want to thank Miss Hughes, who's also here, who is our BPA sponsor, and all the great things that they've done this year. So they're here if you have any questions.
Y'all stand up so we can see who y'all are. Awesome. Congratulations.
Round of applause. Awesome. Board, any questions, comments? Ladies, congratulations.
Yeah, for sure.
So awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll recommend for your consideration and approval the out-of-state travel for BPA National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida.
All right, board. Entertain motion for item number 10.
I move we approve the out-of-state travel to this leadership conference.
All right, got a motion by Ms. Bass. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 6-0. Enjoy, ladies, and again, congratulations.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, board.
All right, consideration approval for the selection of our district auditor for 24-25.
This is another housekeeping item. It is a big decision. We do undergo external audit, and the entity that the finance department is recommending for the external audit is Ike Bailey, and you can see the cost associated with that contract. And it is a contract over 50,000. And so if you have any intricate questions about this item, Ms. Chapa or Ms. Dunlap can answer it. But by and large, they audit everything. And they are here with a whole team of auditors, and they go through everything, files, and they request files before they even come. And then they come and request more files, and then they request more documentation, and it keeps the HR department, finance department, and teaching and learning department pretty busy for an expansive time while they're in district undertaking the audit. So with that, I'll recommend for the board's consideration, the approval and selection of district auditor for 24-25, which is Ike Bailey.
Board, any questions? Comments? These are the same ones from last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Used them for,
Pardon me?
we've used this company for many, many years,
Yes,
right?
we've had different companies. We have a lead auditor, but they're always a different team that comes in with them. So if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, so it's the same company, but they send different
Yeah,
people to.
they always have a lead auditor that usually the same, maybe for a few years, but they're always a new team that comes in and audits our books. And they audit state and federal as well.
All right, board, entertain a motion for item number 11.
I so move we approve the selection of district auditor for 24-25. Bailey.
Got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Item number 12 is consideration and approval of bullet-resistant film installation at the education complex.
This is a grant that was written, Megan does a good job writing grants, and so the grant is for $219,400. What it'll do is, it is a federal program department, got a school violence prevention grant for $219,400 to install bullet-resistant laminate in this building, in particular this boardroom, as well as the foyer area and any glass in this building. It's $197,259. So the grant was specifically written for that purpose, as we run our 18-plus student program out of this building, out of the main area. And we have students that come in and out for testing. We have families who come in and out for registration purposes. We run pre-K registration, kindergarten roundup through this building. And of course, this room was filled with students for student recognition. So with all of those factors, the Federal Department of Education approved the bullet-resistant laminate for this facility. So with that, I'll I'll make a recommendation for your consideration and approval. Board Citizen film installation at the Education Complex. Contract over 50,000 using the SVPP federal grant.
Questions, comments, board?
So if the grant amount is a little bit more than the actual cost that they've given us here, will we be able to use that little bit of extra for other safety?
There is a committee that does get together, that is a safety committee that can take a look at distributing if there aren't any unexpected costs. I mean, you know, you give a vendor a green light on something and sometimes there is, what do they call it, change orders. And so if there is money still left, we would be able to allocate that to other school violence prevention approved items. And there is a committee for that. Yeah.
Last month, it's the same grant, but if he has additional needs, I think there was some specific thing he possibly needed for the cameras, and so Megan was gonna look, but we could allocate it for that with the committee.
Yeah.
Right.
More questions, comments, board? Entertain a motion to item number 12. Do I hear a motion?
I so move.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Got a motion from Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Ray. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Item number 13 is consideration approval to purchase campus supplies for the 25-26 budget.
This is a housekeeping item. Each year at this point, we'll purchase supplies to get ready for next year as we want to be sure campuses have what they need as they plan towards the end of the year, but then more importantly, get ready when principals, assistant principals, campus staff, and then instructional staff show up late July, early August. So you can see the amount is $41,129.74. And again, this is using one of our contracts. It's text by contract. So with that, I'll recommend to the board for consideration and approval, the purchase of camp supplies for using the 25-26 budget.
Questions, comments, board? I hear a motion for item number 13.
I'll make a motion that we approve item number 13 as presented.
Thank you. Got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Rivera. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0.
Okay, do we want to go ahead and do the business items?
Consensus, yes, ma'am.
Consensus agenda. We just need to approve the consensus agenda from the March 13th board meeting and the special called meeting on April 15th.
And we also have budget amendment 2. Again, this is the work in reconciling the books for this year. And so I don't know, there may be, there'll be a few more as we end the year. So this is just, again, trying to eliminate as many lines of red as we can. We know we won't be able to eliminate them all, but we want to try to eliminate as many as we can. So with that, I'll recommend the consensus agenda as presented for your consideration and approval.
Questions, comments? All right, here a motion for the consensus agenda.
I move we approve the consensus agenda.
Okay, got a motion by Ms. Bass. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
6-0, thank you.
I will request closed session. As you can see, the purpose is professional employment contracts for the 25-26, as well as administrative employment contracts for 25-26, and then deliberation regarding 2 employees, and then no action will be taken in closed session, all action in open session. So with that, I'll make that request.
Okay. Under the Texas Government Code, Section 551.001 and 551.071, we're going to closed session at this time. It is 7:56. The time is 9:12. Return back from closed session. Continue, item number 1.
All right. We'll make a recommendation for consideration of professional employment contracts for the 2025-26 school year, package 1.
I move to accept the recommendation of professional contracts package 1 for the 25-26 school year as discussed in executive session.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Ms. Bass and a second by Ms. Sada. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Package number 1.
Okay, I'd like to recommend on behalf of the administration, package number 2.
I move to accept the recommendation of professional contracts package 2 for the 2025-2026 school year as discussed in executive session.
Okay, thank you. Could I, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Ms. Al-Assad and a second by Ms. Bass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Package number 2.
Okay, next item we have is consideration of administrative employment contracts for the 25-26 school year, and this is just one package.
Mr. President, I move to accept the recommendation of the administrative contracts for the 25-26 school year as discussed in executive session.
Okay, got a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion, Mr. Salazar, and a second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0 on package number 1.
Next item we have is proposed non-renewal of a term contract of a teacher. I'll make a recommendation on behalf of the administration.
I make a motion that the board propose a non-renewal of Barbara Ann Garcia, a classroom teacher employed under a term contract governed by Chapter 21 of the Texas Education Code. Authorize the board president to execute the notice of the proposed non-renewal of Ms. Garcia on the board's behalf, and authorize the superintendent to deliver the notice of proposed non-renewal to Ms. Garcia on the board's behalf in accordance with state law.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion by Ms. Rivera and a second by Ms. Bass. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Okay, 6-0 on package number 1. Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, the next item we have is termination of a probationary contract of a teacher. On behalf of the administration, I'll make the recommendation.
I'll make a motion that the board, 1, terminate the probationary contract of Christopher Augustine Ramirez, a classroom teacher employed under the probationary contract governed by Chapter 21 of the Texas Education Code. 2, authorize the board president to execute the termination of Mr. Ramirez's probationary contract on the board's behalf. And 3, authorize the superintendent to deliver the notice of termination of Mr. Ramirez's probationary contract on the board's behalf accordance with state law.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second. I'll
Okay.
second.
Got a motion by Mr. Salazar and a second by Ms. Rivera. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Package number 1.
That concludes the business of the district this evening.
Okay? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.